Let's do it. Hey there, everybody. I'm Thomas Michaud, you knew that, and this is Ami Fields.
Hello.
She'll be joining us today with her cool ukulele. I've got a bunch of stuff here for you today. To start off, welcome for those of you who are here live. And welcome to those of you who will see this afterwards as a recording. We're going to be showing you some tips and ideas on how to get started improvising. And for those of you who already know how to improvise, maybe stretch that a little bit. Also, I've got time to answer some questions today, either about improvising or any guitar-related stuff. Or if something not guitar-related is fine too, as long as it's not too out there. And also, I'm going to do a raffle a little later today, as usual. For those of you who are new, every month we do a raffle, and the only requirements to be in the raffle is to complete the monthly practice plan. And we've got quite a few people complete this month. And also to have your photo or your profile up. Doesn't have to be your photo, but any profile up on the Real Guitar Success website. So just a reminder, to complete the practice plan for the month, you don't have to master each of the techniques. As a matter of fact, not even close. All that I really had intended was that each technique would, at least you'd view it and then check it off. I'm hoping that you'll find some that you really want to get into and learn, but that's definitely not necessary. As a matter of fact, my main goal here is to help you gain confidence by playing guitar, also to connect with other people and have fun. So by going to the website and seeing what I put up for the practice plan, you'll get a chance to decide if that's something you want to work on, a little bit, a lot. You can save it in your favorites if you want. And even if you just decide it's not for you, there's a place now that you'll be able to go back and see any of the techniques that I've included in the month by category. So for those of you who don't know, now there's a button up at top of Real Guitar Success. It's called Practice. When you click on that, you'll get a drop down and there's a bunch of categories: scales, fingerstyle exercises, different warm-up techniques. And when you click on any of the categories, you'll get a page with a bunch of the techniques from all the previous months. So they're not lost, they're all there. And it can be kind of fun to just search through them. So with that said, I do have a little bit of news that I want to announce. Did you know that we have a new chorus on there?
I didn't.
Yes, it's a fingerstyle chorus. I've included a song, You Are My Sunshine. Fingerstyle. I break it down step by step, every measure actually, by measure, and then help you put it all back together at the end. Now, I'm hoping you'll learn the song and even record it and play it for me, and maybe for the people in the community as well. But the intention is to help you learn fingerstyle techniques. So by playing the song, I'm also giving you tips on how to fingerstyle, how to arrange a song in a fingerstyle. This is a fairly simple song, and it'll be live starting tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow it'll be ready.
Awesome.
And Ami will learn it right away and play it for you guys next week. By the way, Ami is, among other things, plays many instruments, and today she's brought her ukulele. So I guess if you guys started off seeing our jam, and we're going to use that in the improvisation workshop. So with that said, let's get started with some improvisation. Now, basically, learning to improvise, everybody knows that you need to learn some scales. And I would recommend, if you're just getting started, start with just one scale so you can get an idea how that fits into a process. The main scale I teach most people when they're first starting out is A minor pentatonic scale. That's a long name, but really it's one of the simpler scales, and it's easy to sound good. And there are many versions of it. As a matter of fact, you know, I know probably a half a dozen positions of that same scale, but not necessary when you're starting. You can get a lot of bang out of the buck by learning it in just one position. When I was growing up, we called them boxes. The idea was one position was kind of like a box position on the guitar, and you move the box and play the notes in that scale in different positions. Once you learn that scale, it's not that hard to change it to different keys either. So let me just show you first of all the A minor pentatonic scale that I'm going to use in this particular workshop. It's a scale that starts on the 5th fret and looks like this. That's the entire scale. Pentatonic means 5 notes. So this scale is actually 5 notes. Here's one octave of the scale. That's 5 notes, and it repeats. That's the octave. And then this is the second octave. And I just extended it one more note. So as you can tell, I'm only using my 1st and 3rd fingers until I get to the last 2 strings, my 1st and pinky. Really, I'll tell you right up front, when I'm playing, I don't really use my pinky. I'll stretch my 3rd finger over. You choose. And I just want to give you a heads up, it's common for guitar players to use their 3rd finger and not try to do bends and trills with their pinky. It's just easier to use your 3rd finger. But it does require a little bit of stretching, and especially if you're on a classical guitar, which has just a little wider neck. So the reason I chose this scale, or I should say many guitar players before me have chosen this scale, is because it naturally sounds good without having to try too hard to hit just the right note in the scale over any kind of thing that sounds like a basic blues pattern. So we're going to use a basic blues pattern today, a 12-bar blues pattern in the key of A. In the case of this pattern, we're going to keep it simple. It's basically A 4 times, the E chord 4 times, back to A 4 times, E chord twice, A chord twice, 2 measures, and then E, D, A, E. It's, if you know the numbering system, it's 1 chord 4 times, the 4 chord 2 times, the 1 chord 2 times, and then it's 5, 4, 1, 5 at the end. Don't worry about that. The thing is with the 12-bar blues is that it's just using the main 3 chords in the key, the A, D, and E, the 1, 4, and 5 of the key. So we don't have to even play 12 bars. Just playing those 3 chords, I can play the scale over and it's going to sound good. Let's start off by showing you the scale, in case it's new for you. So the fingering. We'll start with the 6th string, first finger on the 5th fret. Pinky, I'll teach it to you with the pinky, but feel free to substitute the 3rd finger on the 8th fret. So the first one's a stretch. Then to the next string, now it's the 1 and the 3. So that's the 5th fret and the 7th fret. But I'm thinking 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. That's the 5th string, 4th string, 5th fret, 7th fret. Same pattern on the 3rd string. Now the 2nd string. Now it's that 1, 4 pattern. 1st finger and the 4th finger. And I'm going to show you with the 3rd finger. For me, that stretch is not hard. Now the 1st string, same pattern. So take a look at the pattern again. I'm deliberately not trying to get you focused on just where to put your finger on the fret, because if you memorize the pattern, it'll be much easier. That's 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. So I would encourage you to practice that scale. I'm going to include the actual tabs for that you can download by the end of the day today. I'll have that up on the website. Or I should say by the end of the day tomorrow, because my assistant will do it tonight while I am sleeping. And also I'll include the basic 12-bar pattern. The other thing that I'm going to include on this lesson is a download to a backing track that you can use to experiment with. The very best way to learn to improvise is to start with one scale. Then learn maybe just a couple of licks. Licks are short phrases. So here's a lick. That's a very simple lick. Here's a more complicated lick. Just maybe a few phrases like that, licks. And then practice over a backing track that's in the right key for that scale and those licks, and listen and keep making choices with your ear. It's a repetitive thing. You do it a little bit each day. I once read the interview with Emily Remler, who's a famous jazz guitarist, who's a wonderful improviser. And she said basically what she just did is every day after work, she turned on her tape recorder with her backing tracks. She made her own, played her chords over just her chords on the tape. It was tape back then. And would just improvise and work at it for a couple hours. And she got great just by doing that, not by studying any complex theory or learning a bunch of scales. Over time, she kept expanding on that and adding some new scales and new licks. And a lot of improvisers listen to other people and kind of steal their licks and then manipulate them till they're not exactly the same and then make them their own. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take this basic scale, A minor pentatonic, and we're going to put it over a 12-bar blues pattern. So here's the pattern. A, 4 bars. That's 1, 2. Go ahead and get out your ukulele, 3. Then to D. I'm using D7. Back to A. And I'm going in 7th chord. Now that 1, 4, 1, 4, 5, 4, to the 1 chord A, and end on 5. That was 12 bars. Okay. So the backing track will have just that progression, of course, with a bass and drums, make it a little more interesting. Let's get started and show what this is going to sound like. Ami's going to play the 12-bar blues on her ukulele. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the scale. Nope, the same scale still sounds good. Now I'm going to add some licks. One more round. This is a little more elaborate licks. I'm going to throw in some slides. I was throwing in some sliding to add a little color to it. So I'm aiming at a note and sliding up to it. And the other thing I was doing is, I'm not doing much bending. On a steel string guitar, I might bend a little bit. But on nylon, that doesn't work too well, so you can experiment with that. The other thing is I was throwing a few extra notes on the scale. And this, listen to this for a minute. That's the basic pentatonic. I threw in an extra note in between. They call it a blues note. And you can learn the blues scale, but I encourage you at this point to just experiment and see what notes sound good and what doesn't. It's more important to train your ear to hear both what makes the sound as well as what you like than it is to just fill your head with a bunch of scales and techniques and things like that. Start with a few and then keep working your ear at the same time that your dexterity improves. That was fun.
Yeah, cool stuff.
I never realized I would like jamming with a ukulele player.
Everyone loves jamming with a uke player.
I have a question for you guys, and I'll send an email with this too and see what response I get. Ami has graciously offered, if there's interest, to do a basic ukulele lesson. Not today, of course, but the schedule ahead of time. And if it's something that you're interested in, let me know. You can tell me in the chat, or you can send me a quick email too. If you're watching this pre-recorded, you can just send an email and say, yeah, that's something I'd like to do. She teaches regularly ukulele classes and can teach all the way from beginning up to more advanced players. And of course, we'd start with a simple and see how it goes. But just an offer. Ukuleles, and a lot of people play ukulele nowadays, no matter what other instrument they play, and they're very affordable if you don't have one. So it's an easy one to just pull out, carry with you, and play a few chords and have fun with it. So with that said, are there any questions that on the live? I didn't have any questions ahead of time, so anything you guys want to ask live, either about improvising or other guitar-related questions?
Don't see anything yet, but I do have someone that says they're interested in the uke lesson.
Good choice.
Cool. Great choice.
Who is that? Oh, okay, I see it. That's it for today's training. If there's no more questions, I'm going to go on to the raffle. Let me start by saying I want to congratulate everybody who has finished the practice plan for this month. That's no small accomplishment. But I also want to say that, again, you don't have to do every technique in the practice plan. And if you're just not into wanting to be a part of a raffle and it's just not of interest to you, I fully understand, and I honor that as well. If you're my main intention is just to get you on the website and find stuff that you do want to play and keep coming back to it. I want to keep trying to encourage you to get out of just staying in your own rut or just doing the same thing over and over. And that's one of the reasons I keep pulling out new material. It's not that you have to learn every little thing. It's that I want you to have something to keep nudging you out of just doing the same thing over and over. At the same time, balance that with doing something enough that you get good at it. Don't just keep moving on and not working on something at least that you feel like you've got a certain level of accomplishment out of it. So with that said, the people are in, we're going to be giving away a Amazon gift certificate, $25 gift certificate. And Ami will do the honors. These are the people who have completed the practice plan for this month. And the winner is...
The winner is Larry.
Larry.
Yeah.
Larry Griffith. No, Larry Griffith. It is Larry Griffith. Congratulations, Larry Griffith. You will be getting an email from me with, I'll figure out the best way to get you that Amazon gift card. Good. And again, thank you everybody for playing along. If there's no more questions, I'm going to end it for today. Anything else? I would like to also ask you too, if you have any suggestions on other types of training, please let me know. And again, if you're watching this as a pre-recorded, just send me a quick email and let me know. Or you can always enter it in the forum too for under trainings that you'd like to see.
By the way, Sherry says the new practice section looks great.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Sherry. I'm really working on it. I can tell if you guys saw me, you'd know that I'm putting a lot of energy into figuring out the best things, and I appreciate any feedback you give me so that I can keep making it better. One of the changes that I got asked many times was to make a place where you could go back and look at the different techniques from the previous month. So that's happening now. Okay, we're going to close up for today. Thanks, guys. Have a good week. We'll see you next month.
Bye-bye.
Next month, first Thursday of the month.